Hello everyone, welcome to M Electrical YouTube channel. I hope you all are good and safe. Today in this video we will discuss about the phasor diagram, especially about no load phasor diagram, and we will analyze every point regarding this topic. Every concept on this topic will be cleared, so try to concentrate on the words whatever I am going to tell you now. In the previous video, we have discussed about some properties of practical transformer and especially about the BH curve. If you have not seen this video, you can watch it by clicking the link in the I button above. This phasor diagram topic is very important. Whether you are preparing for your semester or any type of competitive exams like GATE, ESE, each and every student should understand this topic and be able to draw. Now, if you ask, what is the phasor diagram and why is it important? The phasor diagram is nothing but the pictorial representation of a transformer, by which you will be able to understand the internal behavior of the transformer. That means you will be able to know what is happening at the windings, that is the primary and secondary windings, and at its core. So today we will start our discussion from zero level and we will reach at the peak point gradually. Before going to the depth of the phasor diagram, first we have to know what is full load and what is no load condition. If the secondary winding is connected with some load, then it is called loaded condition. If the load amount connected is 50% of its capacity, then it is called half loaded condition. And if it is connected with its 100% capacity, then it is called full load condition. If the transformer secondary is open circuited, that means if no load is connected over the secondary winding, then it is called no load condition. First we will discuss about the no load phasor diagram, then we will discuss about the full load one by one. This diagram is basically the part of transformer equivalent circuit, which we will discuss in depth in the next video of this series. Here, when the load is not connected, then there will be no secondary winding current. See, here is no I2, that is secondary winding current. Only a small amount of current will flow through the primary winding, called no load current, denoted here by I0. This I0 is flowing just to meet the core losses and to produce mutual flux phi m. Here, one important point is that this I0 is around 5% of the total rated current of the primary winding. That means if the total rated current, that is I1, if it is 100 ampere, then this I0 will be only 5 ampere. The amount is very small. Here the I0 has two components. One is IC, which is called core loss component of I0. This IC supplies the core losses and very small negligible amount of copper losses of primary winding. As IC is flowing through the resistor RC, that's why it is in same phase with the voltage across this resistor, which is here we have taken the voltage V1 dash. Notice here the V1 dash and V1 both are different. V1 dash is just across this core part, where V1 is the supply voltage. IC is also called as active or full component. And the second one, the other component of I0 is IM, which is magnetizing component of I0. This IM magnetizes the core That means it sets up flux in the core. That's why this Im is in phase with the mutual flux phi m or phi. Again you can recheck it here. See the equivalent circuit that Im is flowing through this Xm, and as Xm is fully inductive, so Im will lag the voltage. Im is also called reactive or worthless component. Here I1 equal to I0. But in case of ideal transformer, we have seen that this I1 was equal to I mu or Im because their IC was absent. And in full load, we will see that this I1 will be phasor sum of I0 and I1 dash. Here I1 dash is not mentioned, you will see in full load case. Here you can see I0 is phasor sum of IC and Im. Here the angle between IC and I0 is phi 0, that is phi 0. So cos phi 0 equal to, it will be IC divided by I0, you can see here. Then IC will be I0 cos phi 0 and Im will be equal to I0 sin phi 0. So I0 equal to root over of IC square plus Im square. Now the active power equal to, we know active power is Vi cos phi, where phi is the angle between the voltage and the current. So core loss, here core loss or the active power PC will be V1 dash, that is voltage, multiplied by current I0 multiplied by cos phi 0. Here phi 0 is the angle between the voltage and current I0, which will be equal to V1 dash IC, because IC equal to I0 cos phi 0 and here voltage is V1 dash, so it will be V1 dash multiplied by IC, and active power, as it is active power, its unit will be in watt, and magnetizing reactive power or the volt ampere will be, which is denoted by Q, it will be equal to voltage multiplied by current multiplied by sine of angle between them. That means V1 dash I0 sin phi 0. As I0 sin phi 0 equal to Im, so it will be V1 dash multiplied by Im, and its unit will be VAR, sometimes called VAR. Alpha is the angle between I0 and Im. Here, as the phi m is common to both the primary and secondary winding, that's why it is taken as the reference phasor. Now question is, why E1 and E2 are lagging this phi m? In the previous video, we have already discussed that phi equal to phi m sin omega t and E equal to Em multiplied by sin omega t minus pi by 2. So E1 will be equal to E1m, here m is the maximum value. E1 equal to E1m sin omega t minus pi by 2 and E2 will be equal to E2m sin omega t minus pi by 2. So from this formula, it is clear that E1 and E2 are lagging the phi m by 90 degree or pi by 2. In transformer, if N1 equal to N2, then only E1 will be equal in magnitude of E2. For step up transformer, E2 will be of greater magnitude, as N2 will be more number of turns, because we know step up transformer has secondary number of turns more than the primary number of turns. So secondary EMF E2 will also be greater value, and for step down transformer E1 will be of greater magnitude, as in case of step down transformer N1 has more number of turns. Now we will discuss about the upper portion of the phasor diagram. Here X1 is the primary leakage reactance in ohm, which is offered to the primary leakage flux phi L1. It is a fictitious quantity. Now if we consider this primary winding resistance R1 and primary leakage reactance X1, then the drop across R1 will be I0 R1 and the drop across X1 will be J I0 X1. As reactance is the imaginary part, that's why this J term is used here. So total impedance drop for the no load current will be I naught Z1, which will be equal to I naught R1 plus J I naught X1. If we take common I naught, then it will be equal to I naught multiplied by R1 plus JX1. If we add this impedance drop with the voltage V1 dash, then the total sum will be equal to V1. Here it is looking like V1 is much greater than V1 dash. No, it's not true. Just to understand very well, we have made this. As the voltage drop value I naught Z1 is very small, so V1 is very close to V1 dash. Even at full load, this primary leakage impedance drop value in power transformer is about 2 to 5% of V1. That is why V1 dash and E1 are approximately same in magnitude even at full load condition also. Here, phi L1 is the primary side leakage flux. Ex1 is the amount of voltage induced in the primary winding by this phi L1. This Ex1 and J I naught X1 is same in magnitude but of opposite direction. It is clear from the figure. You should notice that total primary flux is phasor sum of this phi L1 and phi M. If we draw the resultant flux of these two, then it will be positioned here, just above this phi M or phi. At no load, you can see the phasor diagram that here as the load is not connected, so here we only have included the primary winding part. Here is no secondary winding information. But in case of full load condition, we will include the secondary winding also. So watch the next part very carefully. This is up to no load phasor. I hope your concept is clear now. Please inform us by doing a comment whether your doubt is clear or not. I strongly suggest you to see the next video full load phasor diagram. Watch the full lecture series one by one to get a full subject knowledge. You can rewatch this video for more clarity. Till if you have any doubt regarding this topic or any other topic related to electrical engineering, then drop your doubt in the comment section below. Remember, one like, one inspiration. If you have learned something new in this video, then hit the like button and subscribe the channel. You can contact with us. Every detail is given in the description section. Thank you for listening me today. We will meet soon with a new interesting topic. Till then, take care, be safe, goodbye.